The moment I was reborn, I went straight to the hospital and told the doctor to abort the baby boy inside me. In my last life, after 5 years of a childless marriage, I was ecstatic to learn I was pregnant with fraternal twins. But then the doctor diagnosed them as being too large and told me I needed a selective reduction, or my own life would be in danger. While I was agonizing over the decision, I suddenly heard the thoughts of the baby boy in my womb. Mommy, get rid of this little bitch. She's sucking away all my nutrients in here. She's going to drain me dry. This brat isn't even my real sister. She's the bastard child of Tina and Dad. They used black magic to put her in your belly. She'll suck the life out of me, and then you'll raise her as your own. And all our family's money will go to that whore and her daughter. Hearing that, I immediately went to the hospital, aborted the girl, and kept the boy. But on the day I went into labor, the baby in my belly thrashed violently, kicking and punching me from the inside until I bled to death. Just before I died, I heard his voice again. That stupid woman actually believed me and aborted her own daughter. Now hurry up and die so I can finally meet my real mom and dad. When I opened my eyes again, Tina, a doctor herself, was sitting in front of me, advising me to get a selective reduction immediately. Chloe, your body is just too weak. If you try to carry both babies to term, your life will be at risk. You should have the reduction surgery as soon as possible. Hearing that familiar voice, my eyes flew open. There was Tina, earnestly trying to convince me to abort one of my children. I jumped, stumbling back several steps before I caught my balance. Are you okay, Chloe? It's my fault, I was probably too blunt. Tina came around the desk to help me, a flash of contempt in her eyes. I took a few deep breaths to calm myself and shook my head. It's not you, it's me. A selective reduction is a huge deal. I can't make a decision right now. I understand. But please think about it. The longer you wait, the worse it is for your body. You should give me an answer soon. I walked out of the exam room and ran as if the devil himself were chasing me. I didn't stop until the smell of antiseptic had completely faded. I found a small convenience store, bought a bottle of water, and chugged half of it in one go. Finally, my head started to clear. And just then, I heard the voice of the baby inside me again. Mommy, please save me. My sister is draining all my nutrients. She's taking everything, and I have nothing left. Hearing that voice, I knew for sure this wasn't a dream. It was real. I had been reborn. In my previous life, my husband, Alex, and I had been married for 5 years without getting pregnant. He mentioned that a childhood friend of his, Tina, was an OBGYN and knew of a special remedy that could help. That's how I met her. After taking the remedy Tina gave me, I quickly became pregnant with twins. The whole family was thrilled, and my trust in Tina deepened. But a few months later, at a prenatal checkup, Tina told me my body was too weak to handle 2 babies. If I insisted on giving birth to both, not only would the children not survive, but I would die as well. I was racked with guilt. They were both my babies, I couldn't bear to lose either of them. As I struggled with the decision, I suddenly heard my son's voice. He told me that my husband and Tina had been having an affair for years. Tina didn't want to go through the pain of childbirth, so she used dark magic to transfer her baby into my womb. At first, I didn't believe it. But then I hired a private investigator. When I saw the hotel records of Alex and Tina together, I knew it was true. Forget saving one of them, I didn't want to give birth to either. I just wanted to divorce that scumbag. But then my son's voice came again, telling me he couldn't bear to leave me. He said that after I divorced Alex, he would stay with me and disown his cheating father. In the end, I went through with the surgery and kept the boy. I never imagined that it would be the beginning of my nightmare. It wasn't until the moment I died that I understood. It had all been Tina's scheme. The boy in my womb wasn't my son at all. He was a demon. And what was worse, I had killed my own daughter with my own hands. This time, I will protect my daughter. I won't let anyone hurt her. I left the hospital where Tina worked, hailed a cab, and asked the driver to take me to another one. At the new hospital, the doctor confirmed what Tina had said. My body really couldn't handle 2 babies. A selective reduction was necessary, I could only keep one. I made my decision on the spot. I want the girl. Please abort the boy. Mommy, don't you love me anymore? Why are you getting rid of me? Aren't I your precious baby? Don't abort me. My sister is that evil woman's child. You've made a mistake, Mommy. The moment I said it, my belly started to roil. The baby began kicking and punching, as if trying to tear his way out. The doctor looked at me shocked. Are you sure you want to keep the daughter? I lifted my shirt to show him my convulsing stomach. Look at this boy. He's been tormenting me since the day I got pregnant. He's completely out of control. A daughter is better. My daughter is my little angel. As soon as the words left my mouth, the little bastard inside me went still, afraid to make another move, terrified I'd get rid of him. I'm sorry, Mommy. I love you, Mommy. Please don't leave me. I was just so excited to meet you. I scoffed. More like you were excited to meet your real mother. I was just an incubator. All right, as long as you've made up your mind. Go get some tests done first. They needed to check my condition before the surgery, so the doctor sent me for a few scans. I was desperate to get rid of the little bastard, so I spent the entire day rushing between different labs, getting tests and collecting results. Your health looks good. I can schedule the procedure for the day after tomorrow. Hearing the doctor's words, I finally breathed a sigh of relief. In just 2 more days, I could escape the tragic fate of my past life. What procedure? A familiar voice cut through the air, and every hair on my body stood on end. I whipped my head around in disbelief. Outside the office, Alex and Tina were standing together. What are you two doing here? I blurted out. Alex's face was grim as he strode in and snatched the test results from my hand. You're trying to abort my child? Chloe, why didn't you come to me if you needed surgery? You're lucky you ran into my senior colleague today, or you could have made a terrible mistake. Tina walked up to the doctor. I'm so sorry about this. Thank you for your trouble. Cold sweat beaded on my forehead. I dug my nails into my thigh and threw myself into Alex's arms, crying, Honey, it's not that I wanted to abort our child. It's just that Tina said my body couldn't handle both of them, that I had to get rid of one. I couldn't bear it, so I wanted to get a second opinion from another doctor. Chloe, I was just trying to do what's best for you. I can't believe you don't trust me. Tina stomped her foot in frustration. Besides, my colleague told me you wanted to abort the boy. Alex, your family has been waiting for a male heir. Are you trying to end his family line? I feigned shock and burrowed deeper into Alex's arms. That's because you told me the girl was stronger because she was absorbing nutrients for 2, and the boy was weak. You said he'd be sickly if he was born, so it was better to abort him now. Alex frowned at me. You should have discussed this with me. You can't just come to the hospital for surgery on your own. Let's go home first. With both of them here, I had no choice but to go with them. The surgery would have to wait. When we got home, Alex's parents rushed over as soon as they heard we had to do a selective reduction. Absolutely not. We can't abort the boy. My father-in-law slammed his hand on the table. Our family needs a son to carry on the name. I sat on the sofa, dabbing my eyes, playing the part of a wronged wife. I don't want to either. They're both a part of me. I don't want to lose either one. But what if he's born sickly? What if he's weak and can't even have children of his own? Then the family line would still end with me, wouldn't it? If we abort the boy now and have the girl, I can recover for a couple of years and then have another healthy boy. Wouldn't that be better? I said between sobs, secretly watching their expressions. Just as I expected, my in-laws looked thoughtful. No, you can't abort the boy. Tina jumped in. Chloe, your body is already weak. Who knows if you'll even be able to have another child after this one? Don't worry. I can help you with a special regimen. I guarantee you'll give birth to a healthy boy. To make her words more believable, she added. And don't forget, you couldn't get pregnant for years. It was my remedy that helped you conceive twins in the first place. That's right. Keep the boy. With Tina helping you, there won't be any problems. Now everyone was on her side. My father-in-law slammed the table again, making the decision for me. But they all forgot one thing. I was the one who was pregnant. If I didn't want to, no one could force me to abort my child. No, I can't bear to part with either of them, I said, turning the problem back to Tina. Tina, Since you can help me with my health, can you help me keep both babies? Well, that might be difficult. Your life would be at risk, and that's not worth it. It doesn't matter. I would trade my life for my children's lives, as long as they're both healthy. Tina and Alex exchanged a look. They hadn't expected this and were clearly out of ideas. They would have to discuss it in private. If I can't keep them both, then I might as well just die. I added more fuel to the fire, making a show of running for the balcony. That stopped them all in their tracks. Tina had no choice but to grit her teeth and agree to help me with a special treatment plan. A few days later, Tina arrived with a large bag of herbs, instructing me to take them every day. She warned that missing even a single dose could be life-threatening. I took a sharp breath and nodded gravely. Don't worry. I will. To thank Tina, Alex had her stay for dinner. After dinner, Alex drove her home, and I went to my room. I lay on the bed and started examining the herbs Tina had given me. Just then, the little bastard in my belly started trying to manipulate me again. Mommy, you have to take the medicine, so my sister and I can both survive. We both want to meet you so badly. His words confirmed my suspicions. There was definitely something wrong with this medicine. I couldn't take it. I pulled out my phone and accessed the feed from Alex's dash cam. The moment it connected, I saw him and Tina wrapped around each other making out. Will that medicine of yours work? Alex asked. Don't worry, Tina said. I got it from a master. Once Chloe takes it, it will boost our son's ability to absorb nutrients. He'll drain everything from Chloe and that little brat. Our son will be born big, fat, and healthy. A chill ran down my spine. Tina was as evil as I remembered. She wanted this little bastard to be born over my and my daughter's dead bodies. I would not let her succeed. Alex nodded, satisfied. And once Chloe is dead, we'll get married immediately. My parents won't be able to object, and our family of 3 can finally live happily ever after. Oh, Alex, that's wonderful. It's all my fault that I can't have children. I've wasted so many years. But soon, we'll finally be together for real. So that was it. My relationship with Alex had been a conspiracy from the very beginning. In his eyes, I was nothing more than an incubator. I trembled with rage, wanting to tear that cheating bastard and his bitch limb from limb. If they wanted my life, then we would see who would be the last one standing. To ensure his family line continued, Alex personally watched me take Tina's medicine every day. He even made me open my mouth afterward to check that I hadn't hidden it to spit out later. I wasn't scared. I took the medicine on time, every single day, without fail. Because I was carrying twins, my belly was already huge at 7 months, looking like I was about to give birth any day. I went to the hospital for a checkup. Tina put on a show of examining me, then announced cheerfully, Chloe, your condition is excellent. You should be able to have a natural birth at full term. She could lie without even blinking. If I had a natural birth, I wouldn't just endure unimaginable pain, I would die on the delivery table. Really? That's wonderful. I heard that babies born naturally are smarter. My father-in-law's birthday was in a few days. To celebrate the double blessing, Alex booked a table at a restaurant and invited some friends and family. On the day of the party, I arrived late, clutching a stack of photographs. In front of all the relatives, I threw the photos in Alex's face. You son of a bitch. How could you cheat on me behind my back? The photos scattered through the air, and everyone grabbed one. They could all clearly see Alex and Tina together. My parents saw the photos and rushed forward, punching Alex. You bastard. Chloe is pregnant with your children. For a moment, Alex looked lost. Then he rushed toward me, trying to explain. Honey, listen to me. But I screamed and collapsed, clutching my stomach. My stomach hurts so much. I'm going into labor. Help me. How can you be in labor? You're only 7 months along. It's not time yet. Alex panicked, not knowing what to do. It hurts so much. I'm really going into labor. A group of people scrambled to carry me to a car to rush me to the hospital. Go to City General. Tina's there. Alex yelled. My mother slapped him across the face. What did you say? You want his mistress to deliver my daughter's babies? Who knows what she'd do to her? My mother directed the driver to another hospital. Alex was furious but helpless. He didn't dare say another word and could only text Tina secretly. I watched it all unfold and managed a small smile. At the hospital, I was quickly wheeled into the delivery room. Given my condition, the doctors prepared for a C-section. Everything was happening far outside of Alex's control. He grabbed a doctor's arm. "Doctor, my wife is only 7 months pregnant. She can't give birth now, can she? The patient is in critical condition. If we delay any longer, we could lose all 3 of them. It's premature, but our pediatric team will be on standby to do everything they can to save both children." "Then you have to save the boy first. Doctor, save the boy." Forgetting that others were there, Alex blurted out his demand. The doctor, having seen this many times before, simply said he would do his best and went into the operating room. Not long after the doctor went in, Tina rushed in. "What's the situation, Alex?" She didn't yet know their affair was exposed, so she didn't notice the strange looks everyone was giving her. "You little slut. You must have seduced my son. If anything happens to my grandson, I'll kill you." My mother-in-law lunged forward, grabbing Tina's hair and screaming at her. "Don't you worry," my mother-in-law said to my parents. "Chloe is a hero to our family. We will never let this woman into our home." My parents were furious, but they were more worried about me. They just grunted in agreement, their eyes fixed on the operating room doors. "Alex, help me. Help me," Tina shrieked. But in front of so many people, Alex didn't dare defend her. He could only watch. Soon, the operating room doors opened, and a doctor came out holding a baby. Everyone swarmed forward, and Tina pushed her way to the front. When she saw the chubby, healthy baby in the blankets, Tina was so ecstatic she forgot all about her pain and reached out to take the child. "My son. Let me hold him," she blurted out. "Your son? Who do you think you are? Get out. Get out of here. My daughter-in-law doesn't want to see you." My mother-in-law shoved her back, pointing a finger in her face. "Let me hold my grandson. Oh, look at him, so big and healthy. He's clearly blessed," my father-in-law said, stepping forward to take the baby. But I had already instructed the nurse that the baby must be handed to my parents. "The baby is very healthy. 6 pounds, 9 ounces. Healthier than many full-term babies." My mother took the baby, glanced down, and then asked, "Nurse, what about my daughter? And the other baby?" At that, the nurse's expression turned grim. "Because of the premature birth, the other baby is extremely weak, weighing only 2 pounds. The mother's condition is also unstable. She's currently in critical care." Seeing the healthy baby out, Alex no longer had any reservations. "Only 2 pounds? He probably won't make it, right? Maybe we should just let him go. Just focus on saving my wife." Tina chimed in. Yes. I'm a doctor. A 2-pound preemie has a very low survival rate. Even if he survives, it will cost hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's just a girl. It's not worth it." My in-laws had calmed down by then, their faces troubled. "Where would we get that kind of money? It would be one thing if he lived, but what if he doesn't?" The message was clear. They didn't want to save the other baby. Just as my parents were about to speak, Alex cut them off. "Mom, Dad, the most important thing right now is Chloe. Are we really going to give up on her for a preemie? No. We want both the mother and the child. No matter how much it costs, if we can save the baby, it's worth it," my mother said, refusing to be swayed. The nurse nodded. "Don't worry, we'll do our best." No matter who survived, it was bad news for Tina and Alex. Tina quickly asked the nurse, "Can the husband go in to be with her? Maybe that would strengthen her will to live." Alex understood what she meant and put on a deeply concerned face. "Yes, let me go in and be with my wife. I can't live without her." Just as the nurse was about to reply, the door behind her opened again. "Chloe's family? Sign this quickly. Your son's condition isn't good." A doctor ran out, holding a critical condition notice. The air seemed to freeze. "What? The son?" Tina was the first to speak. "That's impossible. You must be mistaken. Isn't the son right here?" The nurse didn't have time to argue. She tapped the form in her hand. "What are you talking about? The girl came out first. The son came out second, and he's only 2 pounds. Sign the form." He's in critical condition and needs to be rushed to the NICU immediately. Hearing this, my mother unwrapped the baby's blanket, checked, and cried out in delight. Oh, a mistake, a mistake. This is my granddaughter, not my grandson. You could fake a lot of things, but not that. After making sure everyone had seen, my mother rewrapped the blanket and said to Alex, a 2-pound baby, he probably won't make it. Maybe we should just let it go. No. You have to save my son. Whatever it costs, save him. Get your hospital's top specialists for a consult now. Tina screamed, her face contorted with madness, her eyes looking like they were about to pop out of her head. The nurse looked at her, confused. You've got it wrong, this isn't your son. Where's the father? We need a decision now. He is mine. That is my son. Save him now or I'll kill you all. My mother, holding my daughter, turned to my in-laws. Is this woman crazy? My daughter is still in there, and she's already trying to claim the baby. And don't you forget whose fault it is that the baby is so weak in the first place. My mother-in-law pulled Tina away and slapped her hard. You jinx. This is all your fault. If it weren't for you, my grandson wouldn't have been born premature. Get out. Doctor, you have to save my son. You have to. Alex, finally snapping out of it, signed the critical condition notice. Enough. Stop fighting. What's the point of this now? He separated his mother and Tina, then slumped into a chair, defeated. Oh, my poor grandson. You've suffered so much. It's all because of this horrible woman. The premature baby was quickly placed in an incubator and wheeled out, on his way to the pediatric ward. He was so tiny he was barely the size of my palm. Lying there, he struggled for every breath, looking like he could die at any moment. Tina stared after him, desperate to follow, but her sense told her the baby needed immediate medical attention, or his life would be in danger. After the doctors stitched me up, they wheeled me out of the operating room. The first thing I did when I woke up was ask to see my baby. Thankfully, my mother had listened to me and held on to my daughter the entire time, never letting go. Alex and the others were all focused on the preemie in the NICU, so they paid little attention to the daughter. Holding my chubby, healthy daughter, I couldn't help but cry. Thank God. This time I had saved her. The moment I knew there was something wrong with the medicine Tina gave me, I gave a sample to my parents and asked them to investigate. If Tina could get her hands on something like that, so could others. She wanted her little bastard to drain the life from me and my daughter, but I wouldn't let her. I swapped out every dose of the medicine Tina gave me. The medicine I took was designed to strengthen my daughter's ability to absorb nutrients, including the share meant for that little bastard. But just as the doctor had said, if I waited until full term, I would still die. So I induced labor early, timing it perfectly to happen in front of everyone. They would just assume I went into shock after discovering Alex's affair. That afternoon, my parents went home to prepare my recovery meals, leaving me alone in the room with my daughter. Just then the door opened. Tina walked in, her face dark. She looked at the baby in my arms, a venomous glint in her eyes. How did this happen? Did you do something? Now that the babies were born, there was no need to pretend anymore. I held my daughter tighter and sneered. The pot calling the kettle black. I've never met someone as shameless as you. What, you have time to come to my room and throw a fit, but no time to visit that sickly little bastard in the NICU. You knew. It was you. You're the one who harmed my son. Tina shrieked, pointing at me. Don't be ridiculous. You tried to harm me first, I was just defending myself. And let me remind you, I am still legally that little bastard's birth mother. That means I can stop his treatment at any time and send him on his way. You wouldn't dare. That's my son. And who's going to believe you? Tina couldn't take it anymore and lunged at me. With my daughter in my arms, I screamed for help. A nurse rushed in and pulled her off me. I immediately grabbed my phone and called the police. The police arrested Tina and held her for a few days. That's when Alex started to panic. He was already stressed about the baby in the NICU, and now Tina was in jail. She was the baby's real mother, after all. He came to me begging, "You bastard. I'm still recovering from childbirth, and you have the nerve to come here and plead for your mistress? The audacity." I slapped him again and again, more than a dozen times, until my palm was numb. Tina was just worried about the baby. That's why she lost her temper with you. But you spend all day holding our daughter. Have you even thought about our son, fighting for his life downstairs? Alex tried to guilt-trip me, but I wasn't falling for it. She's my daughter. Of course I'm going to hold her. As for that little bastard downstairs, I wish he'd just die already. Alex's eyes darted away. He knew that I knew everything. There was no point in saying anything more. If you want me to drop the charges against Tina, fine. Sign the divorce papers. There's nothing left between us. I pulled out the divorce agreement I'd prepared and put it in front of him. Why should I have to leave with nothing? Fat chance. I don't agree. After reading the terms, Alex ripped the agreement to shreds. Go ahead and sue me if you have the guts. Otherwise, you can forget about a divorce. I had expected this reaction, so I wasn't surprised. Tina was released after a few days. She tried to visit the baby at the hospital, but she had to sneak around. She couldn't even get near my room. That little bastard was tough. After some time in the NICU, his condition actually stabilized. The doctors said that with proper care, he could grow up to be a normal child. That couldn't happen. I couldn't allow any threat to my daughter's future. A nurse from the NICU asked me to buy some clothes and bottles for him. I ordered a bunch of cheap junk online and gave it to her. This won't do. These clothes aren't pure cotton, they'll give the baby a rash. And these bottles are too big for him. I rolled my eyes. He'll have to make do. A sickly kid can't be so picky. The good stuff is for my daughter. He doesn't deserve it. The nurse wanted to argue, but seeing my unreasonable new mother act, she decided not to cause trouble for herself and left with the items. Tina, hiding around a corner, was furious when she heard me. But that was just the beginning. I bought expensive, imported formula for my daughter, and a couple of cartons of some cheap sugary drink for the little bastard. My daughter used premium diapers, while he got cheap, bulk ones from some knockoff brand that left his bottom red and swollen. Tina could only watch as I tormented her son, wringing her hands in despair. How dare you use such terrible things for my son? Unable to stand it any longer, she confronted me. Because I'm his mother now. I'll use whatever I want for him. And this is just the beginning. Since that little bastard is my son now, I'll be sure to give him lots of love. I stressed the word love. Tina stared at me, her eyes wide with terror. The baby was still in the hospital. If I took him home, he wouldn't last a few days in my care. She bought new things and tried to give them to the nurses for the baby, but when they asked her what her relationship to the child was, she couldn't answer. The nurses refused to take her things, afraid the baby might have a bad reaction. No matter how she explained, no one believed her. They even thought she was a kidnapper and threatened to call the police. It's time to change the dressing on your incision. Come with us. That afternoon, while I was feeding my daughter, a nurse knocked on my door. I nodded, lulled the baby to sleep, placed her back in the bassinet, covered her with a blanket, and left with the nurse. When I returned, Tina was hunched over the bassinet, clutching the swaddled baby, sobbing hysterically. My son. Mommy is so sorry. Alex rushed in. What's wrong? What happened? Why are you crying? My son. Something was definitely wrong. Alex went over, opened the blanket, and saw that the baby inside wasn't the daughter they expected, but the son they had longed for. The little bastard had stopped breathing. His face was purple. He had clearly been smothered. How is it the son? Wasn't it the daughter? Alex's legs went weak, and he collapsed onto the floor, muttering to himself. Just then, a nurse came in and saw the body they were holding. She immediately tried to take the baby to resuscitate him. What happened? How could the baby just die like this? Chloe, it was you. Why would you do this to a child? He was just born. Alex's eyes darted around, and he immediately threw the blame on me. I laughed. Are you out of your mind? The nurse just took me to get my dressing changed. How could I have done anything to him? You must have done it before you left. Everyone knows you don't like this baby. Who else would be so cruel? He was right. Everyone at the hospital knew I doted on my daughter and couldn't stand the little bastard. All eyes turned to me. Chloe, if you didn't like him, you could have given him to me to raise. I can't have children, and I've always dreamed of having a baby. How could you be so heartless? Tina, realizing what was happening, also started wailing at me. Her performance was so heartfelt it almost moved the onlookers to tears. I just watched them with a mocking smile, even giving them a round of applause. You two should be actors. You'd definitely win an award. If I hadn't been prepared, you might have actually gotten away with it. I walked over to the head of the bed and pulled a hidden camera out of a bouquet of flowers a friend had sent. Please call the police for me. There's been a murder, and I have evidence, I said to the nurse. You thought my daughter was sleeping in there? Fools. I treasure her more than anything. Why would I ever leave her alone? Before I left, I had specifically covered the baby's head with the blanket, leaving just a tiny gap for him to breathe. To avoid leaving fingerprints and make it easier to blame me, Tina hadn't checked under the blanket. She had simply smothered her own son through the fabric. The baby in the blanket struggled for a few moments, then went still. When she lifted the blanket to confirm he was dead, she discovered it wasn't my daughter. The police arrived and arrested the despicable pair. To lessen her sentence, Tina claimed she had killed her own child, saying she just wanted to end his suffering. She told them they could do a DNA test if they didn't believe her. The police, though suspicious, came to the hospital to investigate, only to find that I had already had the baby cremated. I had scattered his ashes at sea, leaving no trace. Tina's dream of a DNA test was shattered. I had anticipated her move. As the little bastard's legal mother, I had every right to decide what to do with his remains. When Tina heard the news, she broke down completely and confessed everything. As a co-conspirator, Alex couldn't escape either. For the two of them, only a long prison sentence awaited. Meanwhile, I used our marital status to sell off many of Alex's assets, converting everything to cash and transferring it to an account in my daughter's name. Since he wouldn't grant me a divorce, I was going to maximize my gains. In the end, Tina, as the main culprit, was sentenced to life in prison. Alex got 10 years. Honestly, he got off easy. 10 years later, my daughter was in elementary school, and Alex was released from prison. He tried to find us, but we had moved long ago. The city had changed so much in a decade, and his parents were gone. In that vast city, he couldn't even find a place to stay. Later, while fighting with other homeless men for territory under an overpass, he was beaten to death by a group of them. His body wasn't found until it had started to rot. The area was deserted and had no surveillance cameras, making it difficult to find the killers. As his next of kin, I decided not to pursue the search for his murderers. It was better to let him move on to his next life. A scumbag like him wasn't worth another moment of my time. From now on, I would live a good life with my daughter.